CardCharge can easily be set up to pass through the appropriate costs on to the customer. When your customer presents their choice of payment, the CardCharge calculator instantly takes the transaction subtotal, the card being presented, along with the merchant's characteristics pre-configured, and calculates the total card processing cost that would be involved if the transaction proceeds. The CardCharge calculator then forwards that information to the merchant system, along with the recommended amount of payment processing pass-through charges that are appropriate for this transaction. If the customer approves the transaction with the added charges, the merchant will receive the added amount and have exactly offset your processing costs for this transaction. If the customer would prefer to use a different method of payment with lower payment processing pass-through charges, the CardCharge calculator will recalculate the transaction reflecting the lower charges. CardCharge has set up an example below where the merchant settings allow payment processing pass-through charges. They have set a pass-through charge threshold of 35 cents plus a rate of 0.05%, and the pass-through charge percentage to 90%, where the merchant is responsible for absorbing 10% and passing through the rest, or 90%. The customer in this scenario decides to use a MasterCard Credit World card. Purchasing a $100 product, CardCharge has calculated the pass-through charge threshold for this transaction to be at 40 cents. CardCharge has calculated in this scenario a transaction processing cost of $3.70. Difference between the CardCharge and the threshold being $3.30. The merchant elected to absorb 10% of the amount over the threshold, which is 33 cents. And the merchant elected to calculate the pass-through charge of 90% and pass that through to the customer, difference being $2.97. Total before taxes to the customer in this scenario becomes $102.97. If the merchant had decided to pass through 100% of the CardCharge fee onto the customer, the total would have been $103.30. To the right, a demonstration with this receipt of a different scenario where the merchant has posted a cash price and chooses to pass through the credit card processing fees. The CardCharge line located below the item total is the calculation determined based on the credit card used for this particular transaction and the merchant pre-configured settings. The CardCharge description identifies the amount of the pass-through fee, in this case $22.84. To read more about CardCharge and cost of acceptance calculations, as well as pass-through fees, visit cardcharge.us.com.